One jar, 7 days. A protein source that rivals chicken breast, grows itself while you sleep, and costs less than $1 to produce. No farmland, no refrigeration, no animals, just water, a handful of dried lentils, and a process so ancient that Chinese physicians prescribed it 5,000 years before modern nutrition existed. Here is the part nobody tells you. Dried lentils already contain more protein per gram than a chicken thigh. But sprouting them does something science could not explain until recently. The protein becomes more digestible. Your body absorbs 30% more of it. The vitamin C content explodes by 500%. And a food that cost pennies transforms into something nutritionally superior to what you pay premium prices for at the grocery store. The industrial food system has no reason to teach you this. You cannot patent a sprouting jar. But by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to do it yourself. 5,000 years ago, Chinese physicians were not guessing. They prescribed sprouted seeds the way modern doctors prescribe antibiotics, specific doses for specific ailments. Ancient medical texts documented what worked. Sprouted mung beans appeared in remedies centuries before anyone understood vitamins existed. The practice spread along trade routes. In India, Ayurvedic medicine classified sprouts as sattvic food, pure, life-giving, the highest category of nourishment a food could achieve. Families passed the technique through generations the way they passed down language itself. Then scurvy nearly destroyed European naval power. Sailors died by thousands on long voyages. No one understood why. Between 1772 and 1775, Captain James Cook ran an experiment. He fed his crew sprouted seeds alongside citrus. The casualties stopped. Sprouting became standard maritime protocol. Dr. Clive Mackay at Cornell University wanted to know why. His research team measured what happened inside germinating soybeans. Vitamin A increased by 300%. Vitamin C exploded by 500 to 600%. The seed was transforming itself into something nutritionally unrecognizable. For centuries, this knowledge lived in kitchens and ship galleys. Then modern laboratories started publishing what grandmothers already knew. Here is where the numbers stop making sense until you see them side by side. The USDA Food Data Central Database lists dried lentils at 24 to 26 grams of protein per 100 grams. Chicken breast, cooked, contains 23 to 31 grams per 100 grams. On a dry weight basis, lentils already match or exceed chicken before you do anything to them. 1 cup of raw lentils contains 47 grams of protein. That single cup costs roughly 70 cents at most grocery stores. The same protein from chicken breast costs over $4. Lentils deliver protein at approximately 1/10 the cost per gram. But the cooked lentil confusion tricks everyone. Boiled lentils show only 9 grams of protein per 100 grams. People assume the cooking destroyed something. It did not. Water absorption dilutes the concentration. The protein remains intact. You simply added liquid weight. Now here is what sprouting does that cooking cannot. A study published in the journal Foods in 2020 examined 12 lentil varieties grown in Germany. Researchers measured protein content before and after germination. The results defied expectations. Protein concentration increased in 10 of 12 varieties. The highest performers showed gains between 20 and 23%. Mean protein before sprouting measured 24.4%. After sprouting, 29%. The same researchers found something even more significant. Zinc and manganese concentrations increased. Calcium jumped between 41 and 58%. Potassium rose by nearly 30%. Germination was not merely preserving nutrients, it was creating them. A separate study in MDPI Horticulturae tracked brown and black lentils through 4 growth stages. Protein content climbed 18.8% by the time sprouts reached full length. But the real transformation happened elsewhere. Dried lentils contain almost zero vitamin C, none. After sprouting, Vitamin C content exploded by 389% in some varieties. Other research documented increases of 500%. Carotenoids, the precursors to vitamin A, increased by 224%. Polyphenol content rose 34%. Vitamin E climbed between 100 and 600% depending on the variety studied. The seed was becoming a different food entirely. Here is the part that matters most for anyone eating these proteins. Raw legumes contain anti-nutrients. Phytic acid binds to minerals and blocks absorption. Trypsin inhibitors interfere with protein digestion. Tannins complex with dietary proteins and reduce digestibility. Your body might receive the protein, but it cannot fully use it. Sprouting dismantles these barriers. A comprehensive review in Nutrition Bulletin analyzed decades of research. Phytic acid decreased by 25 to 75% during germination. Trypsin inhibitors dropped by 30 to 80%. The journal Foods published findings showing protein digestibility improvements of 10 to 30% after sprouting. The math becomes unavoidable. Start with protein content matching chicken. Increase that content by 20% through germination. Then increase absorption by another 30% through anti-nutrient reduction. The effective protein you actually digest from sprouted lentils approaches or exceeds what you absorb from animal sources. Dr. David Fankhauser at the University of Cincinnati Claremont College documented vitamins A, B, C, and E appearing in sprouted lentils. 1 cup delivers 14% of daily vitamin C requirements, significant B vitamins, iron your body can actually absorb, potassium for cardiovascular function, vascular. 1 tablespoon of dried lentils becomes nearly a cup of sprouted protein in less than a week. The same transformation from animal agriculture requires 18 months and thousands of dollars in feed, land, and infrastructure. The numbers do not lie. They simply were never advertised. So why did nobody teach you this in school? Why does every grocery store dedicate aisles to protein powders and meal replacement shakes while sprouting jars collect dust in specialty shops? 3 reasons compound each other. None of them involve your health. First, you cannot patent a lentil. You cannot patent a mason jar. You cannot patent the act of adding water and waiting. The entire process exists outside commercial control. No seed company profits from something that reproduces itself indefinitely. No equipment manufacturer sells proprietary sprouting technology. No processing facility stands between you and your food. Every middleman in the protein industry loses money when you grow nutrition in a jar on your counter. The protein powder market exceeds $24 billion globally. Companies spend millions convincing athletes and health-conscious consumers that protein requires laboratories and proprietary formulas. Sprouted lentils deliver comparable nutrition for pennies, but there is no corporation with a marketing budget to advertise this on television. Second, sprouts suffer from a perception problem. Western food culture values spectacle, thick steaks, colorful produce stacked in pyramids, packaging with athletes and promises. A jar of germinating seeds looks unimpressive. It carries associations with counterculture and fringe health movements rather than serious nutrition. Nobody photographs their sprouting jar for social media the way they photograph a premium cut of meat. Industrial agriculture promotes complexity because complexity creates dependency. Long supply chains, cold storage requirements, processing facilities, certification systems. A food you grow yourself in 7 days with zero infrastructure threatens the entire model. Third, the knowledge simply fell through institutional cracks. Nutrition education focuses on consumption, not production. Home economics disappeared from most school curricula decades ago. The skills that sustained families for millennia became irrelevant in an age of supermarket abundance. But the research never stopped. Academic journals now publish what traditional cultures practiced for centuries. The Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry documents germination biochemistry. Foods and Nutrition Bulletin track anti-nutrient reduction. Researchers at universities across Europe and North America study optimal sprouting conditions with the same rigor applied to pharmaceutical development. The same process practiced by peasants and ship captains now carries names like bioprocessing and controlled germination. What grandmother did by instinct, peer-reviewed science confirms by experiment. The transformation that saved sailors from scurvy now appears in index databases with citation counts and impact factors. The instructions are simpler than any of those papers suggest. Here is exactly what you need. A glass jar, quart size or larger, a piece of cheesecloth or thin breathable fabric, a rubber band, dried whole lentils, green, brown, or black varieties all work. Do not buy split red lentils. They have been processed and will not germinate. You need the seed intact. That is the complete equipment list. Total startup cost falls under $5. Each batch costs less than $1 to produce. Day 1 requires 5 minutes of effort. Measure half a cup of dried lentils. This will yield approximately 2 cups of finished sprouts. Rinse them thoroughly under running water. Remove any stones or debris. Place the lentils in your jar and cover with 2 to 3 cups of water. Secure the cheesecloth over the opening with your rubber band. Set the jar aside and forget about it for 8 to 12 hours. Overnight works perfectly. The next morning, drain the soaking water completely through the cheesecloth. Rinse the lentils with fresh water. Drain again. Now invert the jar at a 45-degree angle in a bowl or dish rack. This position allows remaining water to escape while letting air circulate. Stagnant moisture causes rot. Airflow prevents it. Place your jar in a room temperature location away from direct sunlight. Seeds germinate underground in nature. They do not need light to sprout. A kitchen counter works. A pantry shelf works. Anywhere between 60 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit will produce results. Twice daily, morning and evening, rinse and drain your lentils. This takes 30 seconds each time. Within 24 hours, you will see tiny white tails emerging from the seeds. By day 2 or 3, those tails reach a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. By day 4, they stretch an inch or longer. The volume in your jar triples or quadruples. You decide when to harvest. Some prefer short tails for a denser texture. Others let them grow longer for maximum vitamin content. Taste them as they develop. Stop when you like the flavor. Final harvest requires one last rinse, then spread the sprouts on a clean towel to dry completely. Moisture is the enemy of storage. Dry them thoroughly. Transfer to an airtight container lined with paper towel. Refrigerate. They keep 5 to 7 days. If they smell sour or feel slimy, discard immediately. Now use them. Eat them raw on salads and sandwiches. Stir fry for 2 minutes in any dish. Blend into smoothies for a protein boost without powder. Pair them with rice or quinoa to complete the amino acid profile. One important note. Pregnant women, young children, and anyone with compromised immunity should cook sprouts briefly before eating. A quick sauté eliminates any bacterial concerns while preserving most nutrients. The flavor surprises everyone who expects something unpleasant. Mild, slightly nutty, fresh, nothing like the health food stereotype suggests. 1 cup delivers approximately 9 grams of highly bioavailable protein, plus fiber, plus vitamins your body actually absorbs. Cost per serving lands between 8 and 15 cents. 5,000 years ago, a Chinese physician understood something the modern food industry still cannot profit from. Protein does not require feedlots or factories. It does not require 18 months of growth cycles or cold chain logistics. It requires water, patience measured in days, and seeds that have been sustaining humanity since before recorded history. The jar on your counter can produce what the grocery store charges premium prices to deliver. The instructions fit on an index card. The results speak for themselves. 1 jar, 7 days. More protein than you thought possible from something you grew yourself. If this changed how you think about food, subscribe there is more to discover.